That's the one.
Now, the First Coast's most accurate forecast from the First Coast News Weather Team, certified by Weather Rate, sponsored by AC Designs.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. It is 4 in the afternoon, getting ready and raring to go. We like to do these streams right before the 5 p.m. broadcast while everything, all the weather data is right there fresh in our minds. Thanks for joining us for another afternoon edition of our weather stream. I'm Chief Meteorologist Lewis Turner here at First Coast News. Andy, what's the name of the stream? I'm so new to the ball game here. Ross, do we have a name? Andy? Andy's on the ones and twos, by the way. He's my guy. This is my
big storyline when it was Tim and Ross every day was we don't have a name.
Okay.
And we're trying to workshop one every day.
Okay. Well,
you're going to see Weather Watchers Wednesday pop
Weather
up.
Watchers is the name of the game for now. And Lee Southwick, meteorologist, is going to be joining me very, very shortly as we take a look around our nation. So obviously we got some severe weather up towards the Mississippi River Valley and towards Chicagoland. We've got the Great Lakes just getting pummeled by a big area of low pressure that you can see pretty clearly there. What a beautiful view this view is from our visible satellite, and the texture, the contour, the high clouds, the lower clouds, and we've even got some severe weather out towards Washington, D.C., and our nation's capital right now. So very active weather pattern across our United States. Hey, there's Lee. No, good. I was just talking national forecast. So a very active weather pattern across our country. And, you know, the last few days, while severity, we've had a couple of severe thunderstorms, certainly. Severity-wise, we haven't been the strongest of the storms, but we've been the stormiest place in the United States, considering just the consistency that we've had in the typical Florida, Northeast Florida pattern. So let's go down a little bit closer now, and there is some really cool imagery here that we can glean.
Look at that.
Right? Isn't it gorgeous? And it's a lot to learn. So I'm going to let you inside the business today. There was a couple of times, Lee, when there was a very real concern. One of our big tools that we use is radar. Mm-hmm. And there's a period of time where we've got radar sites all over the Southeast, all over really our main sites that we like to use. Of course, Jacksonville International Airport is number one. And then you've got Valdosta as a good backup site, and Tallahassee, and then Melbourne. And sometimes you can use a Tampa radar as well. But what happens when you're using radars that are far away is you get attenuation of the beam. And so sometimes that beam, if you're taking it from Melbourne or you're taking it from Valdosta or Tallahassee, Tampa, I mean, you're getting 20,000 feet, 15,000 feet-ish up into the atmosphere. So you might be seeing rain that's not necessarily hitting the ground, or it makes it look worse, or maybe and sometimes better than what's actually happening at the surface.
Right, because sometimes it's too high. It misses the rain below here. So.
Yeah, exactly. And then other times it may be going right through just something towering at 40,000 that looks gnarly and got hail cores, but nothing's hitting the earth. And so the point of me bringing that up, and I promise there was a point, is that for a period of time this afternoon, those radars were being serviced. So it was almost like, well, let's go old school and let's do satellite storm forecasting. And you know, I think even the novice can pick up where some of the strongest thunderstorms are, where the complex of thunderstorms are right now, Lee.
Yeah, I think, are we streaming on Facebook right now, Andy?
Yeah.
I would love for people to take a guess and just tell us in the comments. And I'm going to pull up Facebook and see if we can get some of the responses on that too.
I got to get better at Facebook. I'm not the best at it. Come on. I'm not the best at it. I'm just a guy. I would be interested in guesses, but you pretty clearly can see where the sea breeze is as well on satellite. But what
that's cool too to point out.
What you'd have to do, in the absence of radar, and there was a period of time where that was reality, you're having to look at cloud tops. Where are the tallest, the coldest cloud tops? And with visible, you don't really have to worry about the temperature so much. But if you look really closely in that stretch of 75 between Valdosta and Lake City, you can see at the end of the loop this puffy looking cotton ball looking texture, and that is just classic towering cumulonimbus thunderstorm activity, which I'm going to show you on radar here in a moment. And then, not to spoil our game, but 75 right north of Hogtown, where Lee would be spending her Saturday afternoons in the fall,
whoop, whoop,
watching the Gators. There's a pretty good complex of thunderstorms there. And then the sea breeze, very clearly, if you look to the Green Cove Springs, St. Augustine side of things, you see that line of clouds kind of on a shoestring almost kind of blowing in. Got all those dynamics. So, did we have any successful guesses, Lee? Or
no one guessed. People said hello.
Oh, hello.
Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Barbara.
Thanks for streaming with us. And then off towards Brunswick and into western Camden County, we saw a few thunderstorms as well. But anyway, always love enjoying a little satellite view. And now we kind of get to confirm with radar, thankfully.
Yeah, radar is good. I just kind of real quick, just as you said, like we can see hail cores with this product, velocity when it comes to severe storms and stuff. So if needed, we'll use satellite, but most of the time you will always see us use this product, radar. You can see the rain rates where the heaviest rain is falling, but it's good for lots of different things. Correlation coefficient, which is how we see debris if there's a tornado. So lots of good things with our radar.
For sure.
And we are glad that they got serviced.
Yeah, exactly. And lightning. And that's another cool product, lightning detection that we're getting. And that's been a big story with obviously thunderstorms. But, yesterday in Baker County, a big strong line of thunderstorms went through and home caught fire. And firefighters had to work in the thunderstorms to get that fire out. And thankfully, everyone was able to get out of the home. But we'll talk about that coming up at 5 o'clock, some just wild images. And that can happen with the frequency of the lightning, just the heat that it produces, 30,000 degrees. We're talking extreme heat in the flash of an eye. So so we see the thunderstorms. We've mentioned the ones in Gainesville. We mentioned the ones up between Lake City and Valdosta, all kind of looking like they're going to roll right up 75. And then I do want to talk about what's happening in the here and now, and then I want to look at what's next and what we could expect maybe as we go through the afternoon, Lee. But right now, there's that storm just west of 95 in Camden County, Georgia.
Yeah. Real quick, before we move on too far from this topic, Lou, I just want to let you know that James says that if you keep him caught up on the weather, he will teach you the tricks of Facebook.
Oh, thank you,
James.
James, thank you.
Got you, James.
I'm getting good at hitting and holding down on the like button, so it's everything. I'm not just liking everything. I'm sometimes emoting. I'm sometimes hugging. I think there's the care where it hugs the heart.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
And there's the love, which I don't. I use the love sparingly now. Now, if
do you angry react?
I've never angry reacted. Well,
you're not an angry guy.
I will angry if someone's I post a thunderstorm post or something like that, and they're like, "Man, the thunderstorm missed me. I really could have used the rain on my geraniums." I'll angry emote because now I'm angry now because I am green thumb man. I think I want you to plant and I want you to have that beautiful garden. Ready to go.
All the gardens in the Woodbine, west of Woodbine, getting some rain now. Some frequent lightning popping there.
And I know Lee knows this, but did you know at home there is a very, lightning we talk about being deadly and dangerous, and obviously you don't want to be out in it because of how dangerous it is. But there's a very real, natural, significance and aid to our atmosphere and our ground when it comes to lightning with nitrogen enrichment. So areas in theory that get tons of lightning over the course of a week, you can and maybe anticipate getting a little more nitrogen enriched in your soil, and maybe that helps with the gardening too.
I like the positive outlook.
Positive outlook.
As we always talk about the negative. Of course, our thoughts and prayers with the house that burned down, and
oh my God,
always dangerous. But I like a little silver lining for some positivity out there.
Well, I've been trying to bring silver lining, on Good Morning Jacksonville. A lot of times we'll issue these weather impact alerts because of widespread rain that's going to impact a good majority of people. And you may be wondering, we've had rain every single day, or at least some people have had rain every single day. Maybe not you individually. Maybe you've had it once or twice, but a good chance over the last, and I'll have a graphic for this, over the last 7 days, most everyone on the First Coast has had at least a little bit. And, if we hit a certain threshold, we like to look at 70%. If 70% of us are going to get some showers, thunderstorms, whatever it is, in an impactful time frame, so commutes or when things we're doing outdoor plans, weekends, holidays, we'll issue a weather impact alert. It's tough to do that in the summer months, considering we get rain just about every day. So you have the back and forth. Well, do we just make the entire 7-day a weather impact alert day? Probably not, because now no one's really alerted to anything. We want to do it when there's the extra level to it, where there's going to be an extra impact. And the afternoon showers and thunderstorms, I don't always look at it as a bad thing. Certainly, it's impactful if you got to be running to the car, or you got some big date night with your spouse, and you've been waiting all night, but you take the umbrella. But the good thing with the rain is, with the heat and humidity we've had, you got to have some sort of release valve. You've got to have, something that, and so sometimes you're kind of hoping for it. You're like, oh man, this is impactful, but in a good way. This rain, it kind of cooling things off.
Right.
We saw it at Jacksonville International Airport. We got to 90 degrees. They got a shower over the airport, and it quickly went down to 82. I mean, that makes a difference.
Burr.
Right? It makes a difference. Now it's got right back up to 86. Didn't take long, but the showers do tend to help.
Absolutely. I try to I do like long evening walks, and that's why I get excited if I hear thunder around 4:30ish, and then I'm like, all right, it's going to be a great evening walk, at least to start, a little bit cooler. And then of course we just start to steam, like we're seafood being steamed and boiled.
We're all shrimps.
I will say this time yesterday, Lou, when I was doing the 4 o'clock stream, right around this time, that's when that first severe thunderstorm warning popped near the airport, which turned into a whole complex, really extending over Duval. And so right now, with the storms that we do see out there, like that one that's near 75 in Alachua County, it's starting to strengthen. So this is that time of day where we start to see these storms getting a little bit stronger.
Yep. So Bradford, Union County, will watch you very carefully. And that's kind of why I have this zone sort of highlighted on radar right now as we look at a couple of different dynamics, some outflow happening, a little sea breeze happening as well, some light to moderate rainfall moving up I-10, perhaps making it to McClenny. I know I had some folks in McClenny saying, hey, we need the rain too. Shout us out. So shout out McClenny. You got it yesterday, so maybe a little bit more today. But where those collisions happen, that's kind of where I'm watching my next zone of development. Because today we were talking about the forecast being the main zone of seeing some of the stronger storms would be west of the river. And right now the sea breeze is making it west of the river, certainly where we'd see the most likely development as we get closer to that 5 o'clock hour and we're on the main broadcast. Let's zoom it out. We'll take a look at our temperature. So I mentioned Jacksonville International Airport had hit the 90. We're back to 84 now because of the showers up there. But look at NES Jacks, no rain for you, sitting at 92. Whew. Same for Waycross. Brunswick, St. Simons, watching, I think some folks were kind of hoping that those showers that were moving just east of Jekyll would have made it there. It just doesn't look like it's your lucky day.
We're getting a comment that there's no volume on the feed. Andy?
Volume on.
Just want to make sure.
Maybe they've got. Do you have us muted?
Yeah, they might have us muted, which they can't hear us asking. If that's
right.
the case.
Good. Yeah. I mean, Mr. Jerry heard us earlier. I assume we're still okay because he was.
Okay.
Talking about.
Let's just keep going, but I'll let you guys know if I see more comments.
Let us know if it works. Maybe. Your Bluetooth is connected to something else there. Sorry, but you can't hear my advice anyway.
100 in Mayport. Woo.
Yeah. Been pretty consistent these last couple of days. The beaches have had those triple-digit heat index values. So you think to yourself, oh, I'll get a sea breeze, and that's going to make things feel nice. And maybe it does in the immediate moment. But what ends up happening is all that moisture, that humidity kind of coming in off the ocean, and you get there. Yeah, you get that 100-degree heat index. Brunswick at 101. As I think our theme of our Weather Watchers stream today can be, we are seafood and we are steaming.
Yes.
We're the weather shrimps today.
Love that.
Valdosta to Waycross to Brunswick, gracious day. Just cooking, hoping for that rain, I would imagine. All right, so this is that graphic I was going to show. The beach, but it's the one that if I don't play it first, the camera doesn't play.
Which beach camera were you going for?
I'm pretty confident it was my pier shot.
Oh, I love that.
But it might have been Bridge Alliance, actually. It might have been St. Augustine. It just took a minute to buffer.
Wow, I've never seen it come back in the middle of a show.
Good. All right.
You are good luck.
That's an interesting little graphic. Sometimes if you don't play it first, sometimes the video stream rolling behind the current conditions. But listen, absolutely gorgeous. My jealousy quotient's at a 10, watching the boaters doing their thing, getting out under the Bridge Alliance.
We need to do a stream from a boat.
We can do that. There is technology that exists.
Can we take the Protector to
the Mayport Ferry, and so we're a Protector on a boat?
Yes, that's a great idea.
And we just ride it back and forth? I think we can work that out.
The best 4 o'clock stream. Let's do it.
I think we're cooking here. The weather headlines I'm going to skip past. I had not edited those, so full transparency. I think they're still from Good Morning Jacksonville, so we'll move on right that. We got Juneteenth celebration for our Thursday. So Juneteenth, remember, federal holiday, so many offices are going to be closed. And I did notice that a lot of the celebrations that are happening around town. We've got them all over the First Coast. We've got them Jacksonville to St. Augustine to Brunswick that I've seen. And this one we're mentioning Lift Every Voice and Sing Park downtown. But a lot of these celebrations are in the evening hours. So we are going to forecast the chance of some thunderstorms. But hopefully by the time we're getting to that 7, 8 o'clock time frame, a good many of these storms will have moved out of your area, and you're able to celebrate with that.
Absolutely.
So the weekend, always working for it. Still hot, still humid, but we're dropping the rain chances just a bit. So that's kind of encouraging. A little high pressure going to help us out. Maybe some sinking air helping us out that could take our rain chances down. I'm not going to say they're zero, Lee, but I think maybe compared to what we've had the last couple of days and what we'll have tomorrow and Friday, I think Saturday, Sunday looking pretty sharp.
Last weekend we had a little bit more coverage, so it's nice to, on a weekend, have a little bit less coverage. Not saying that everyone's going to stay dry. Like some of you will have a little bit of rain, just the overall coverage across the First Coast will be a bit lower.
Right. Yeah. Got those scattered storms tomorrow. We're going to talk about 94. We can do a little tropical talk as we look kind of what's going on in the Pacific. This is a hurricane that could hit major levels before making landfall in Mexico. But Eric impacting Mexico and the Pacific side. But as far as the Atlantic side goes, Lee, we take that hurricane season 1 7-day bite at a time, pretty encouraging. But look at that, the satellite imagery over Mexico versus what we're seeing across the tropical Atlantic, the Caribbean, and the Gulf, pretty favorable.
Man, so
I just
with
saw Andy
Eric,
handed a note. No secrets here.
We're passing notes about you.
Oh dear.
I do think his haircut looks silly. Thanks.
Oh my God, it's the tropical wave. The hair, it gets in the tropical moisture out there, and it just starts waving.
He just knows that you and I both like to talk a lot, so he's reminding us about our strict out time.
Of 22:10?
Yeah, close. 22:30.
22:30. Okay, that buys me a few more minutes to get through some graphics as we look at Thursday's heat index. 102 heat index value. I want to get talking about the next 7 days. We mentioned the fact that come on and buffer, baby. The fact that if nice. You haven't gotten rain over the next 7 days and over the last 7 days, very likely you got to have at least a little bit, which all of these showers have helped with our drought conditions as well. So here's what you want to see. Let's talk about our rain chances for a Thursday, Lee. I think a few more of us, I think a little more widespread tomorrow and more populated areas, meaning the metro, meaning downtown Jacksonville, the 95 corridor, we'll have a better chance of seeing some storms tomorrow.
Yeah, unfortunately, since it is, a holiday, it's Juneteenth tomorrow. So we'll be watching that very closely for you.
Yep.
And as always, too, with the thunderstorms that do develop, they can strengthen quickly. So please, if you are outside, just have that shelter nearby where you can get inside if you hear thunder, because these storms have been rapidly strengthening.
Yep. And I'm kind of highlighting in that 95 corridor with our higher rain chances, 60% of us, where you see highlighted in the darker green, will be getting some storms, and that includes coastal southeast Georgia. This model run, it kind of went really fast to the 8:30 period of time. So and now here we go. Now into Thursday, I didn't put my stop in there, but showing some storms bubbling up. But Saturday, all right, sea breeze definitely still occurs, all right, and you can see it right there, but just modeling not zeroing in on that widespread shower activity like Thursday and Friday. So we're going to hold out hope for our weekend, and our backyard forecast is, Lee said, once you hear that thunder, get out of the pool, man. Grab a hot dog. Get a snow cone.
Water, hydrate, please.
Oh, yeah, that.
That.
Mix in a water.
It's hot. Heat index values between 100 and 105. Please stay hydrated over the next several days.
I did my GMJ 7-day. I've done this now a couple of times.
No one blames you. Everyone needs to give you a big round of applause for doing GMJ and 5:30, 6 o'clock. A split shift every day. You are a very hardworking chief.
Oh, stop.
Thank you, Andy. Yes.
Stop it. Well, but I will say the numbers are right. It doesn't include Wednesday, so tune in at 5. We'll include the Wednesday forecast. But the numbers for Juneteenth that we focused on Thursday, mid-90s, hot and humidly as we approach what looks to be hopefully a great weekend.
Bye.
Y'all have a great day, everybody.
22:30.
Thanks for joining us. Right on it.